Some horrors don't just scare you, they destroy you. These are not tales of survival, but of suffering, where every scream was ignored, every prayer unanswered, and every ending worse than death. Tonight, I'll tell you 3 stories of agony. Stories so devastating, you'll wish they never existed. Story 1. The last patient in room 309. There was a hospital on the edge of town, empty, forgotten, its halls reeking of mold and rust. But the locals whispered of one room where the lights never went out. Room 309. A young medical student, eager to prove his bravery, snuck in at night. The corridor stretched endlessly, doors sealed with chains. Only one door was unlocked. Inside, a frail man lay strapped to a rusted bed. Tubes snaked into his arms, but they weren't connected to any machine. The man's skin was gray, his lips trembling. "Don't unplug me," he whispered. The student frowned. "Sir, there's nothing here. You're not connected to anything." But as his hand touched the tubes, the hospital changed. Suddenly, he heard hundreds of voices shrieking, patients begging, mothers wailing, surgeons shouting for help. He saw flashes of children dying in delivery rooms, of patients choking in the dark, of surgeries that ended in screams. The man's eyes filled with tears. "If I'm unplugged, their screams will be free." The student yanked one tube. The room collapsed into blackness. Every scream ever silenced filled the air. The bed was empty. The man was gone. But when the lights flickered back, the student was strapped down, tubes buried deep in his vein. Room 309 had found its new vessel. Story 2. The mother who answered the cry. A widow lived alone at the edge of her village. Each night she prayed for peace, but loneliness haunted her. One night, just past midnight, she heard it, a baby crying outside her door. She hesitated. No one in the village had a child so young. Still, her motherly instinct pulled her outside. The night was cold. The moon was pale. On the ground, she found a small cloth bundle wrapped tightly. She picked it up. It wriggled in her arms. The cloth was cold and damp. When she unwrapped it, she froze. Inside was not a baby. 2 hollow eyes stared back. Its mouth unhinged, lined with sharp teeth. The creature lunged forward. It dug into her chest, clawing and biting, trying to crawl inside her body. She screamed and pounded on the door of her neighbors, but no one opened. Everyone knew the legend of the midnight cry. Any woman who answered it would be devoured by the souls of unborn children, cursed to return and claim more victims. Her screams grew weaker. Blood stained her doorstep. By dawn, she was gone. For a time, The village was silent, but the following night, a neighbor heard the same cry. This time, the widow's voice whispered with it, "Help me, please. Take my baby." And when they opened the door, the bundle was waiting. Story 3. The Well of Silent Screams. Deep in the forest, half buried in vines, was an ancient stone well. The village children were warned never to approach it. But children are curious. One summer evening, a group of boys gathered around. "Echo!" one shouted, throwing his voice down. But no echo came back, only silence. Laughing nervously, one boy leaned close. "Maybe it's too deep," he called again. This time, he thought he heard a faint breath. Days later, that boy went missing. His friends searched everywhere. At the well, they leaned close. It was his voice, screaming from the depths. One by one, the boys vanished in the following nights. The well, they learned, was no ordinary pit. It was a prison for souls who died unjustly. Every voice thrown inside was stolen, trapped forever. Those who listened too closely were pulled down, piece by piece, until nothing remained but their screams. Terrified, the villagers sealed the well with iron bars. But even now, on cold, windless nights, you can hear the boys crying together, their voices begging, "Please, pull us out." And that is the true horror. Not monsters we see, but voices silenced, cries unanswered, pain that never ends. These stories prove some suffering is eternal, and one day you might hear the cry, the scream, or the silence